Hi everybody, it's Denise Lush here with a tutorial for you from Grafix. So today I'm going to be working in the Mixed Media Journal, and I'm going to be using the opaque white Dura-Bright sheet, and then I'm also going to add in a piece of clear Dura-Lar. So for this page I wanted to gel print onto my background, and this was my first time trying to gel print on the Dura-Bright. So it didn't react in the way I expected it to. I honestly thought it would just pull the print like it would on paper, but it doesn't work in the same manner. So if the look I was going for was a layered, grungy, distressed brick-like pattern. And when pulling the print onto the Dura-Bright, it's like it only pulled the very top layer of paint. So, knowing that now, if I had to do it again, then I would do it in steps and just pull each layer individually instead of trying to pull it all in one print. So the paint colors I've used here, it's like bright aqua green, an unbleached titanium, and I think like a raw sienna. So these are the colors I used to try and create that grunge look I was going for. I had allowed the bright aqua to dry, and then I used the unbleached titanium and the raw sienna to pull the print. So as you can see, on paper it worked, but when I pull off the Dura-Bright, I'm just getting that top layer of the unbleached titanium and the sienna. So then I tried using some clear gesso to pull what was left on my gel print, on my gel plate, I should say. And that didn't quite work either. But I did manage to find a way to get some more of that bright aqua onto my Dura-Bright. And I let this sit for quite some time. And you can see I did manage to pull off some of it, but a lot of it still stayed on the plate and it was still wet. So I kept trying to pull it off because I really wanted that bright aqua green on my page. So I flipped it over, and with it being a gel plate, it's very smushable, shall we say. So I kept pressing my fingers into the gel plate so the paint would come off of the plate and onto my Dura-Bright. And this worked. I didn't get the image that I was trying to achieve, but I still got the paint off the gel plate and onto my Dura-Bright. I have pulled an image from a collage soup book called Queen of Hearts, and you see the background in this collage piece of paper. I was kind of like, I was trying to replicate that onto my background so it blended in, just so you know what I was going for. So to get more of that bright aqua onto my page, I have a little like 3x4 or 3x5 gel plate off to the side, and I use it like a paint palette, and I'm just brayering some of that paint onto a foam stamp and just trying to get more of that bright aqua onto the page. And because I still wasn't getting quite the amount of aqua down on that paper, I squirted some more paint out and just brayered some right onto my page. I didn't want to completely cover it because I do like that brownish background in there too. So here I am picking out another image from that same sheet from the Queen of Hearts collage book. And I'm taking a piece of clear Dura-Lar and I'm cutting it to fit into the album, which is 6 by 6 inches. I don't have the proper punch for this album, but the arc punch does the job. I just lined it up with, lined the markings from the existing page up with the arc punch, and I was able to punch the holes so it would fit in the album. To adhere my image to the page, I am using my most loved adhesive, which is the Double Tack mounting film. This has become a favorite of mine, along with the Artist-Tac, which I also use on this page. So I'm just going to do like a rough outline around the shape so I can cut out a piece to fit the image. And then I'll adhere the image to the piece of mounting film and then fussy cut around it. If I had thought about it beforehand, I would have placed the collage piece before cutting it out onto the mounting film and then cut it all out in one shot instead of having to do it twice. So this image is going to go on the opaque white Dura-Bright piece, and I'm mounting it onto the left side of the page, and then the other image will be going on my clear Dura-Lar. And because it is clear Dura-Lar, that means that whatever is on the other side of this collage piece, you're going to see. And I didn't want that image, so I just backed the piece with some black cardstock. I'm also grabbing another piece of the mounting film to adhere my image. I'm telling you, this double tack mounting film makes crafting so much easier. I can't recommend it enough. And then, I find the double tack mounting film good for larger pieces, and then if you have lots of little pieces and a lot of them, I like to use the Artist-Tac, because then you can lay those out and rub the adhesive onto the paper and then pull it off, and you don't have to do any cutting. Well, you have to cut your images, but you don't have to cut the adhesive. And because my double tack mounting film is like gold to me, I didn't want to use another piece to glue the collage piece onto the cardstock, so I just used some wet glue. See, I didn't use my trick of only peeling back a part of it, and I was having a heck of a time trying to stick it down. So I had to end up grabbing that backing again and sticking it down to it and doing it the way that I usually do. It's just so much easier. For me it is anyway, because you don't have to fuss with the rest of it sticking to it before you're ready for it to. So I just find it so much easier with revealing a little bit of it and then getting the placement. I am mounting it to the clear Dura-Lar. I know it may be hard to tell with it being clear, but that is what I am doing. And I'm repunching the holes because the collage piece covered one or two of them. I wanted to add a little bit more to that clear Dura-Lar, so I'm taking that bright aqua paint again and the same foam stamp, and I'm just stamping some of that image onto the clear Dura-Lar. It was my way again of trying to get more of that bright aqua onto the spread. Now the wonderful thing with this being a plastic and using the acrylic paint, when I put the page in the album, I saw some of the paint was covering the other lady's face, and I didn't want that, so I was able to just scratch off the paint that was covering the face, and the clear Dura-Lar was absolutely fine. You couldn't even tell I had done it. It is very forgiving. So I'm adding a quote to the page that is the opaque white Dura-Bright. And it will be covered when the clear Dura-Lar page is closed over it, but then when you flip the page, you will see it. And the quote reads, "To love and to be loved is to feel the sun from both sides." Now I'm just taking a white Posca to add a little bit of highlight to the lettering. I find doing this makes it pop just a little bit more. So the clear Dura-Lar page needed something a little more. It was a little boring. So I'm taking some of the matte stencil film And I'm cutting a small piece just to create a very simple stencil. And what was great, I could just quickly and easily cut it by hand. And I have this stencil that I can use over and over again. And this shape, the scallops, is something I would definitely use all the time in my art journal. So I will be keeping both of these pieces to use and for future use. So I'm going to create a frame on the clear Dura-Lar, and to do this I am using that handmade stencil made out of the matte stencil film and a gold DecoColor pen, and it creates a beautiful frame. I had tried using black paint first, but it just wasn't showing up the way I wanted it to. But I found that when I wiped it away, it left a small little edge, and that I liked very much. So I actually still did a first layer of black paint and then wiped it away with a paper towel just to create that black outline. It's not a necessary step, but I just like the look of it. It gave it a little bit of grunge. You'll see it when I pull up the stencil. See that little line? It's a simple thing, but I really like it. So now I'm going in with that gold DecoColor pen, I guess you would say, a paint pen marker, and I'm just coloring in that negative space. Once that dried, I did go in a second time as well, and I just repeated these steps for all 4 sides. I'm taking a black thin Posca paint pen and just going around that border once again to create something a little stronger and more defined. And I really like how that looks, and it really makes everything else just pop. And because I still couldn't be done, I took a scrap piece of paper from one of the girls, and I cut out the little hearts that were there. I wanted a third heart, so I just cut one from the Aqua paper. And this is where I'm using the Artist-Tac. Because they're so tiny, you can just lay them on where there's adhesive and rub that on, and then remove the little hearts, and they're already covered in glue, and you don't have any extra cutting or fussing with a wet glue and trying to get them down. It works great. So that is it for my project. I love how this turned out. There were lots of steps involved, but not complicated at all. And I just love how clear Dura-Lar adds layers to your project.